Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Self Love Sanctuary Pod. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're so excited to have you guys. I'm Tahina, and this is my co host, Yane. Together, we wanted to create a safe space where we can connect, share, and explore important topics about our well being and our personal growth.
Yeah. So whether you're listening during your morning commute, winding down at home, or taking a stroll, we're here for you to feel right at home with us. So let's grab a drink and jump in.
Let's do it.
Before we dive in, let's talk about ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, let's get nitty gritty, very personal.
We've both been very passionate about our journey of self-love and healing, but that journey may look very different for the both of us.
Yeah.
I feel like most of my traumas really come from my childhood and the way that I was raised. I was raised by a single mom.
Same.
Very negative household. You know, they always preached be positive, but
They were complete opposite, huh?
yeah, they did the complete opposite. It was always, you don't need a man, you don't have friends, don't trust anybody. Yeah. So as I grew up, I started to think that way. I was making horrible decisions. I had no respect for myself or for men. And that really started to affect me. I felt like I was repeating cycles.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I was falling into the same shoes as my mom.
Yeah.
I found out I was pregnant at 24 years old, and I was actually no longer with my baby's father, which again, repeating the cycle.
Yeah.
Because my mom was also not with my dad when she found out that she was pregnant with me.
Yeah, generational trauma.
So finding out I was pregnant for me was my turning point. You know, I realized I had all the power in my hand to change, and everything that I put out there was exactly what I was going to get in return. So I had to change my mindset, you know, and I had to think about my children.
Yeah.
It was no longer about myself. It was now about my son.
And how you could be better.
And how I could be better.
When you found out you were pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
did you think you were going to be like your mom?
I did. My biggest fear was actually to be like my mom. That's why I say I had to change. I realized I had to start thinking about myself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's we're diving in deep, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you, we want to give you guys a little sneak peek about us, because why are you going to listen? You know, why would you tune into somebody
Yeah.
you don't know anything about? So we're going to be very vulnerable.
Very.
And
so it is a little hard.
It is a little hard, and it could be a
Start
little
getting
emotional.
emotional.
Yeah.
I started getting emotional thinking about it, but I just wanted to be a better mom. I wanted to be for him everything that I felt I needed from my own mom.
Yes.
You know, that was the biggest thing. I always craved to be heard, to be loved, to be that affection that I didn't get. I cried for affection.
Yeah.
I cried for it. And it's just my family was not that loving, affectionate family.
No.
At all.
How do you think that affected you as an adult?
A lot. I did not let myself be loved.
No.
No. And I did not let people be affectionate with me.
Did you have trouble with hugging?
Oof. Don't come at me for a hug.
I feel uncomfortable.
I would feel very uncomfortable. And even now, I still have to remind myself, like, you are lovable.
Yeah.
Let yourself be loved.
Yeah.
Let yourself be loved, yeah.
And do you think that now, every time you stop yourself, when you see yourself about to repeat a cycle that your mom did with your kids, do you feel like you
automatically stop myself?
How was it with the transition of when you got with somebody and now you have another kid? How was that transition for you to allow help?
Oh,
with your child?
Yeah, it was very difficult because I was so used to doing everything on my own, doing things how I believed was right.
Yes.
You know, and so now having a partner and having another son, it's completely different. It's different raising a son on your own than raising one,
having a paternal figure too.
And having a paternal figure too, yeah, it's completely different.
I mean, and it's crazy because even we both, Yana and I both grew up without fathers.
Yeah, without our father.
Yeah, and there's this common thing about daddy issues for sure. I think
100%.
What do you think transpired your daddy issues? Do you think you wanted a dad, or you wanted a paternal figure? What was it that you were looking for when it was just you and your mom and your sister?
I wouldn't say I was looking for anything. It was more, would things be different?
Yes, the what if.
I had my dad, growing up, I really never knew what a real relationship looked like.
Yeah.
At all. My mom was just kind of like you don't need a man.
Yeah.
You're good by yourself. And even when I found out I was pregnant with my son, and once my son's father kind of just got out of the picture, my mom was like, it's fine. He doesn't need a father. He's
Mhm.
gonna be fine, and you're going to be fine. And it's like, no. I never told my mom, oh, I need my dad, or I want my dad. But those were definitely
But
thoughts
low-key
that
that you
low
had.
key, I had those thoughts in my head all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, man, like, what if my dad
What
was
would have been
around?
different?
Of course, my mom did
The best that she
the
could.
best that she could. But now that I'm a mom, I say this all the time: I can't be a father.
No.
You can't be a father.
No.
No woman can be a father. Yeah, I can be everything that I can be for my son, but I'm never gonna take that role of a paternal figure.
You can't.
I
And
can't.
no matter how much you try to be, like I used to say, my mom is my mother and my father. She did the best that she could to fill both positions, and for that I'm extremely grateful. But it is very hard to fill a paternal figure when it's just absent. It's not there.
It's not there.
So I completely understand. And do you think that you needed those things to happen to you in your life to be where you're at today?
Absolutely.
Do you think you would have been a little different if your dad would have been around?
Probably.
Or do you like yourself as you are today?
Well, after all the healing,
Yeah.
I like myself.
Yeah.
But growing up, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was not happy with myself. I look back now and I'm like,
Did you experience like any hard losses that pushed you into the healing journey, like that forced you more like, besides having your son and being by yourself, because that's a big push in itself, right? Did you experience any more like traumatic or harsh changes in your life where you had no choice but to see things in a different way?
yeah. It was actually losing a very important person, which was in my life when I was pregnant with Bradley. And he was my backbone, my support. He truly helped me get through everything. And because I was hurt, and hurt people,
That's a
and
real
I,
thing.
I didn't realize that then. It was a lot of whys, how, what did I do? But reality is, I hurt him and I lost him.
Yeah.
And that was huge because I realized this person was helping me get through everything. He was there for me through my entire pregnancy, something that my son's own father
Couldn't do.
Yeah. He didn't have to be there for me. He didn't have to do all these things. And still, I was a very ugly person. And right there, I realized, no, like, you can't be like this.
How was it like forgiving yourself for that?
It took a long time.
Yeah, because
it
feel
took
guilty.
a long time. And even just months after or a year after, I was still not understanding.
Yeah, it didn't click yet.
It didn't click. And I was just like, you know what? This was a lesson. I really have to do the inner work, and my actions have to match, like, deep down, my values and who I know I really was.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to thank Yane for sharing such a personal story. It's hard to be vulnerable, especially on the internet, on a podcast. Like, to open yourself wide is a lot. So I want to formally introduce myself. I'm Tahina, and I'm very happy to be here with Yane. I'm grateful that I met her and that we went through so many similar things, and we can, really help others and relate. So, I mean, my path has been, I wouldn't say chaotic. My journey has been rough and tough, but only solely for the reason that it needed to make me the way that I am today. So I'm very grateful for the pain, for the tears, for the struggles. I mean, my childhood was also very similar to hers. My single mom, she's doing the best that she can. My parents split up when I was very young. I caught my dad cheating on my mom. Yes. And I told my mom.
You told your mom?
I told my mom. And I was only 3 to 4 years old. And I knew what he had done wasn't correct. So I told my mom something that I had seen. And it was around Christmas. So this really did trigger an effect in my entire life, and oh my God, I see it now. It's a little rough. It's a little hard to be vulnerable. And you see, we're still healing. As you can see, like, it's still hard to talk about these things with anybody.
And this is what it's all about.
I mean, going through that during Christmas also changed our entire way of seeing Christmas for many years. From my mom struggling with my having to leave my dad, she essentially didn't stay, didn't accept it. He had an affair for over a year. Yeah. So, I felt a lot of fault for that myself because I was like, did they break up because of me? Was it because I came into the picture? And what triggered that effect was because they were together for so many years before I even came.
Yeah.
And I was like, did I ruin my parents' relationship? And it took me years to understand that I had nothing to do with it. And I was actually a big blessing to my mom. So growing up with her, it was hard. She was doing the best as she could. She was a master suppressor, which I took on as well growing up. I became someone who we didn't do any loves. I love you, no hugs, no nothing. And I wanted it. I needed it because I didn't have my dad there and I wanted someone who was a little bit more gentle and balanced. But she was more straight to the point, more like, you need to do this, these are my expectations of you, and this is what needs to be done. That's it. Simple as getting good grades, no crying about your dad, you're fine. We don't need a man. Look at me, I'm single and I've done it by myself and I've been able to raise you. It was kind of seeing those things and having to understand that it's okay. She was doing the best that she could, but I knew in partake in what happened with her cheating, I knew that I wouldn't allow it with myself. So as the years went on, I started to realize that a lot of the negativity that she was going through was a little bit self-induced.
Yeah. I
And
can see that.
You know what I'm saying? Where your mouth is so powerful.
Yeah.
If you're preaching your reality, it will become your experience. Whatever you say will happen. So she would say a lot of like, this, someone's going to break into my car, and they'd break into her car.
Oh my gosh.
Someone's going to break into the house. They'd break into our house. Yep. And I would be like, there's no way that this is real. Yep. How is she? I'm like, but you're young, so you're not seeing things differently. So I came across the book, The Secret.
Such a good book.
It's a really good book. It's eye-opening. And I'm grateful for the age that I came into connection with this book, which was around 14. So, we had not celebrated not one Christmas. No, none of these. I didn't get gifts. Yeah, it's sad. But it's okay because once I was able to bring it back into our lives and see it from a different way, me and my mom were able to heal that pain from our Christmas and our holidays, so forth, right? So when I came across this book, I realized that your voice and what you say and what you believe and what you think manifests. So I began at a young age to parent my parent, which is crazy.
About how old were you saying you were?
I was probably like 14, 15. Yeah. I was very young. I grew up extremely fast, due to the hardships and the trauma going on in my household and around me and my experiences. I was already working at like 12, 13 years old, babysitting, working at an ice cream shop. I was doing the thing. Yeah. So as I'm coming across these books and learning with pivotal people in my life, my aunt, who I'm very grateful for her, I started to realize, how can I change my mom's perspective into not everything is so bad? Because she would still think about my dad. She would, like how things happened and all the ugly in the life and finances and everything, all the struggles that a single mom would go through, essentially. Yeah. And I started to disassociate myself from the negativity and start to see life in a positive way. And I was like, yeah, it sucks sometimes, but I'll be fine. And then things started to be fine. Yeah. So now we skip to my adulthood, which I'm just going to get very lightly into this because we are going to dive in deep.
Yeah, we'll dive in deeper to our stories.
Our traumas and our stories and how they relate and how they got us to where we are. And we also will talk about a little bit of research that we've done with other people as well going through these traumas. I got married extremely young, which my mom did too. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I didn't know that.
My mom got married at like the age of 18, and I did too. Insane. I married my high school sweetheart. We grew up together. That's the best way that I can say. Me and him grew up together. He had his trauma. I had mine. So a lot of
traumas.
A lot of balancing, especially when these traumas are manifesting as an adult. So growing up, I moved out. I basically moved out first at 18, and then we got back together because we broke up in high school. You see, and here's the thing. Here's the mistake that I made. I took him back after an infidelity the first time. So I did not break the cycle.
Continued it.
I continued it. I truly believe that generational curse was on me from my dad, and I didn't break it when I had the opportunity to break it at such a young age. I believed everyone around me, all of our families who told me and everyone, it's because you guys are young. And I really truly wish, but I am grateful for the experience that I got now. Sure, if I could go back in the day, I would change it. But since I can't, I am grateful for the experience and who it made me today.
Absolutely.
Fast forward years, I start really diving deep into my self-love journey and who it is, who I am without this person while we were still together. So I started to do my own things and separate, not that we were separated or anything. I started to find myself within the relationship because I was like, I'm not going to lose myself like a lot of my friends lose themselves in relationships.
Because it's so easy to
Because it's so easy to lose yourself. And this is why I'm so grateful for that. Because once I caught him cheating again, bye.
You were ready.
I was ready. I knew, because I am a grown, evolved woman, I knew that the cheating had nothing to do with me, but everything to do with him. Sure, it still hurt.
Of course it hurts.
It hurts.
Of course it hurts.
It hurts because the lies, the gaslighting, you're going crazy, like it's not happening.
No.
But for that, I am so grateful because it was like a 360 moment for me. Because I had the choice in my hand and I said, you know what? I'm going to take the unknown and I'm not going to stick around. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I chose myself.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that I felt, I'll never forget it. I was walking the dogs and it started raining on me. And this is right after I found out, once I was kind of making the decision of breaking up. Because mind you, how the universe works, he wasn't here. He was gone for work. So the universe gave me enough time to heal and really think about what my decision was going to be. Right? So when I was going through that, it starts raining on me and the dogs. Pouring. I felt like the shackles were released. It was the craziest feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. I felt like somebody went, choop, choop, and I was free running in the rain like a maniac with my dogs. I know.
But that's such a healing moment there.
It was like a 360, and I was able to see myself and be like, oh my God, thank God.
Right.
Thank God I chose myself. Thank God I picked me. Because they're at the same caliber level. Right. And I'm not. I'm way above that. And I was like, the universe, God, source, whatever you guys believe in, gave me an opportunity to restart my life. Sure, nobody wants a marriage to end. Sure, I had so many questions and then I realized, oh my God, this is a restart. This is my opportunity to write my own life, to be the director of my life, to water my garden. So I took it.
And you ran with it.
And I'm still here watering my garden, happy as hell, enjoying dating, enjoying life, enjoying my friends, doing my podcast with a really good friend of mine. Like, I'm just so grateful. And for that, to wrap it up, we want to kind of tell you how we met during this entirety of everything. As I'm going through this, she's going through her own stuff.
Oh my gosh.
The universe brought us together about almost a year ago. No, it's been over a year.
Over a year.
It's been over a year. Because you were still at the previous.
Yes.
It's been over
a year.
And we talked about starting a podcast last year. It
wasn't
even this year.
And it was caught on camera, guys.
Yeah.
It was caught on camera unintentionally.
Yes.
While I recorded content for my business. And I sent it. I was like, I signed up for it.
Yeah. I was like, we have a legal compounding agreement verbally. I'm kidding. But I wanted her to do it with me, and she wanted to do it with me. It was not even a question. It was more like, yeah. But then we were scared, but it's fine.
So I actually wanted to say thank you to one of my very good clients, Evelina from Embody Aesthetics.
Thank you, girl, for bringing us together.
You never knew. but you brought us together.
Yeah, and now we get to eat our pan con bistec and our snack breaks together, and we're very excited. Like, we were brought together in this journey, and we're able to help other people and just really grow together and grow with you guys. That's all we really care about.
We both felt like we had a bigger purpose in life.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
I've always felt that. I've told you.
Yeah, I've always felt like I had like a bigger purpose to help people, to talk to people, or sometimes just to even listen. I feel like being a listener is helping people heal.
Yeah, because no matter how hard the pain is, you can get through it. No matter what. We've shared lots of laughs, cries, and
lots of cries.
Yeah, but we've been able to grow and see the beauty of how much she's grown, how much I've grown, and how much we've healed together, and in a community. Also believing in self-love, self-care, spirituality, and just amongst more things that anybody can do to boost your healing journey. It looks so different for everyone. So, we wanted to really bring everyone together and create some space. And that's why we were like, you know what, this is the perfect opportunity for us to do something together and help others. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Okay. So why we started this podcast? We started this podcast really for anyone who is feeling overwhelmed, anyone who's kind of searching for that clarity and navigating whatever situation it is that you may be in.
Yeah, we wanted to assist anybody in empowering you during any stressful time, navigating relationships, friendships, life in itself, or if you're just wanting to invest into your mental health and emotional well-being. We wanted the Self-Love Sanctuary Pod to be your supportive space, and so we can grow together.
So here at the Self-Love Sanctuary Pod, we're going to dive into a few topics.
Yeah, we want to give you a little sneak peek of what we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
Should we?
Ooh. So we're going to talk about self-care practices, mental health, and why it's so important.
Yes. Personal growth. Holistic approaches. Yes. Holistic approaches too.
Yeah.
Mental wellness, healthy living tips, and inspiring stories, which I'm really excited for.
With each episode, we aim to provide you with advice and inspiring stories that you can relate to and enhance your overall quality of life.
Yeah. So, also, what can you guys expect from us? So when tuning into our episodes, our future episodes, you can expect very exciting format and our dynamic duo, of course. We're going to do listener Q&As, reflections, guest interviews, which is so exciting.
Oh my God, I am so excited for that.
Because I want to really bring on not only us, but people who've gone through real life experiences. Because sometimes, it can be a little different with more famous people. Of course, they've gone through it. I'm not going to knock that or anything like that. But sometimes it's great to bring in, your regular person who has been through a lot and has to navigate or start from the bottom. Yeah. And then also self-care tips and how can you love yourself a little more. So keep in mind, each of our episodes are going to be packed with a lot of valuable insights, a lot of fun, just to make sure that you guys walk away feeling inspired, knowledge, and ready to take action.
Yeah. So be sure to tune in every Monday for our new episodes. We can't wait to share more great content with you each week.
Yeah, and as we wrap up today's episode, we wanted to read a quote that resonated with both of us and how we want to set the tone for this podcast.
So excited for you to read that quote.
Yeah. So, growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. Mandy Hale. Yeah, right?
I feel like that just sums up
all of our trauma and everything we've been through. But so if you guys enjoyed our conversation today and want to connect with us, you can find us on social media at the Self-Love Sanctuary Pod. Please send us any thoughts, any questions you guys may have,
any topics you guys want us to
drop down on our Instagram, DM us. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, and if you feel inspired, just leave us a quick review.
And don't forget to subscribe.
We are eternally grateful for each and every single one of you who tuned in today to our very first episode.
We truly appreciate any ounce and every single ounce of support we've received from you guys. It means the world to us. And we can't wait to continue to connect with you guys and, share more episodes. So don't forget to tune in next week, Monday, for our next episode, which is going to be Understanding Self-Love, a Guide to Inner Peace. Thank you so much for listening to the Self-Love Sanctuary Pod.
And remember, healing is a journey, and you're never alone on this path.
Thank you, guys.